After 7 years, 5 seasons, 10 episodes each, 50 total, the epic series You finally comes to an end, and it did not disappoint one bit. I'm here to talk about it in my non-spoiler review, so let's jump into that right now. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel today for another review. And today we're going to be reviewing the final season of You, returning to Netflix April 24th. Once again, this season has 10 episodes, and when you talk about ending or landing that ending of these epic or iconic or just a fan favorite series, I'm here to tell you right out of the gate, they got this one right. And while this is the final season, I feel just a tad bit optimistic that there could be more storytelling down the line. And I'll tell you my predictions about that in this non-spoiler review. But nonetheless, it's been 7 years and everybody loves this series. Because let's just keep it 100. America loves their true crime and murder mystery. And Joe Goldberg absolutely is Ted Bundy vibes. You know, he's one of those figures where we know they're not a good person, you know, and through Joe and even through his narration, which, you know, brings an extra bit of like at times humanity behind the conflict and all of his mental instabilities. At the bare minimum of it, we see what he does. They're not good. But folks love him, whether they find him attractive, whether they try to find some measure of empathy through everything that he goes through, and sort of his perspective about it. You know, it brings in so many different folks. And that's why you have super fans like Cardi B, who is just obsessed with this show. And God, I got to tell you, just some of the ideas I have for Cardi in terms of if they want to talk more You down the line. But again, it's just because of the idea that like everybody in America's obsession with true crime and murder mystery with their serial killers, and Joe he just encompasses that. So yeah, who's not going to turn into the bookstore manager turned serial killer as he looks for love and he goes after one girl from back to love, on and on, and you one side you're rooting for him, but the other side is just like, oh, this poor victim. There's so much conflict in all of this, which brings so much attention. So much commentary. That's why you're getting so much content around it, from the podcast, the interviews, the very in-depth think pieces. It's just that's one of those type of shows, and it's very exciting that for 7 years we were entertained, and you 100% are not going to be disappointed with this season 2. And it's just ultimately just been good writing from beginning to end. And when you have something that's so good, you hate to see it go, but I got to tell you, they got it right. They really did get it right. It didn't overstay its welcome. Penn has done a fantastic job in breathing life into this character, Joe. So sadistic. He's a hopeless romantic, you know, but at the end of it, you know, this is kind of a bad guy that maybe you want to see him win. Maybe you want to see him turn things around. But can he truly let his past go? Or will his past eventually catches up to him? So, with that being said, season 5 picks up immediately after season 4. And Joe returns to New York. How could he do that? Well, with his wife, Kate, who has endless connections, gets his son back. Things are good. What do you mean they're good? It's good for Joe? How could that possibly be? It is. Everything is good. She's running the Lockwood Corporation, which is her thing. So she has business back in New York, which I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. But Joe gets his son. He gets to run the bookstore, you know, continue any and all of his ambitions, like nothing had ever happened. So Joe has it good. But what would the show be like if Joe just somehow, some way just turned into a good guy? Temptation awaits around the corner for him in every episode. Before we talk about that, though, I want to talk about the Lockwood family. So Kate, we get to really, and I mean fantastic additions this season. I'm about to say the hot take of the year in 1 second, but we get introduced to Kate's two sisters, Reagan and Maddie, along with she has a half brother, Teddy. Teddy's played by Griffin Matthews. The twins are played by Anna Camp, and my hot take is this: by not only is I feel this is Anna's best performance ever, but a portrayal of twins, I think she sets the bar. And I know we just saw Sinners and Michael B. Jordan's work as twin brothers. I'm telling you, Anna's work as Maddie and Reagan is so good. And episode 4 and 5 is going to 100% confirm everything I'm about to say. Because when you have two sisters who have totally differently extreme personalities, one super confident, and I don't want to throw any words out there, but she has a way with her words. She may not be the most likable person, and then you have another one who's sort of she sort of gives you social media influencer vibes, and kind of just not as serious as about the ambitions of everything else with the family. So they're just on way two different pages, right? And that's fine. But as twins, two different characters with one actor playing them, especially when they have to share the screen together, she does so good in truly separating the two of them. And then there's going to be things and moments where one may mock the other, and how they can mock the other, but don't fully step into that character. So it's hear me out here, and this is not a spoiler, but let's just say Maddie wants to act like Reagan, right? Maddie's not going to just be 100% Reagan. She's going to be about 75% of her, because that is her twin sister. So she does 75% to mimic Reagan, but not actually be Reagan. So that the point when you see Maddie, you're like, that's not quite Reagan. That's Maddie being Reagan. She nails it. That's all I'm going to say about that, is that Anna Camp's best performance, I think, ever. And truly, I feel, is one of the best, if not the best, performance for one actor playing a set of twins. You gotta watch. And Charlotte Ritchie, who plays Kate, listen, she's a formidable force in this, and standing next to toe to toe with Penn as Joe. We know Joe. At times you want to say he's a likable guy, but you just know under any given moment the sadistic side of him comes out. But what type of person could love a man like that, knowing what he's capable of? And that's why I really did enjoy the writing for now 2 seasons of Kate, because we all know from season 4, Kate's hands aren't totally clean. In fact, her past potentially can catch up to her in this. And that's essentially what Joe is running from, is his past. And so, they got something in common there. So it makes it very interesting for this season. But again, his perfect life is threatened because ghosts of his past and his own dark desires. I say all that to say, because there will be tons of special appearances and totally special guest star to appear. It is loaded, And then I got to give a huge shout out to Madeline Brewer, who plays Bronte. Wow, what a character Bronte is. You folks are not ready. But let me tell you what I like about Bronte the most, because I swear on everything, if Bronte was to wear a blonde wig, she literally is Beck. I say that to say, this type of temptation, this type of person, this type of personality, somebody who has common interests as Joe, is literally the thing he needs to run away from and avoid by all costs. But you're going to see just how crazy is going to get between the two of them. And the passion, the fire, the flames, all that good stuff is all coming. You're not going to be ready. I did a little bit of digging as well too, and this season is really special because the director who did the pilot episode, he does return to the show to work on the season finale. So how it's beautiful to see somebody who started it also gets to end it. The finale is insane. I'll come back to that in 1 second. Also in episode 8, Penn's wife Domino performs a song. So it's good to see, the fact that his wife gets to get something that's been so special to him to have a part in that as well. I think that was really, really beautiful. I will also say, too, that I talked about the special guest cameos and whatnot, but the biggest thing that I don't think a lot of people give enough acknowledgement to when it comes down to this character, Joe, is his son, Henry, and how important his son Henry is. I know it seems like it's just about this guy Joe, who's a ticking time bomb, who is a hopeless romantic, who at any given point can get his hands bloody for anything that doesn't go his way, any unpredictable factors in his life. But truly his son is his biggest priority, and I love the fact that Henry is getting older. He's getting smarter, which means he's absorbing everything that's happening around him. And what more worse of a situation could it be if Henry starts to pick up on his dad's actions? And so protecting him from that, but also Joe really should be protecting him from himself. But like the fact that Henry is here and Henry is again, it's a sponge. He's grasping everything that's around him, but Joe's full motivation is protection of his son. And anybody that plays with his son, you can imagine what the lengths that Joe will go to in order to protect him. All of that is a factor in this season. There's so much I can say, so much I want to break down, but I'm ultimately going to end with saying like, you season 5 is 100% fantastic. I will miss this show. The finale, I think, leaves the possibility open for more storytelling. I'm not going to tell you the fate of any of the characters, any of that, but I will say that them shifting this show to another character, there's definitely a possibility, and they kind of give you just a little bit of a hint in terms of what they possibly could do. And that can mean for anybody. And in any way they want to go with it, because they know this team of folks who pretty much have been together since the beginning of this show, still working together. I would imagine that they got the desire to get out there and do more television. And I would be all for it. And whether it's going to be more in this universe or something else, I can't wait to see what it's going to be. But if it is going to be in this universe, I'm telling you right now, they have a lot left on the table. And how is it going to go? But once again, Anna Camp was fantastic. Charlotte Ritchie, fantastic. Madeline Brewer, fantastic. Penn, what can you say? He led this show. He kept us on the edge of our seat season to season. He's just completely fantastic. And then ultimately, just the newcomers and everybody that's involved, and even the fact that, people behind the camera and so on. I should properly accredit Frankie, who plays Henry. Really, really great job. And again, as he's getting older, it's not a secret that he's Joe's son. And to pick up on Joe and to build that continuity of father and son, you got to see traces of Joe in Henry. And this little guy, Frankie, I'm telling you, he's special in this season. So there's really so much I could talk about here, but I don't want to give anything away for spoilers. But yeah, lock in, because when it returns to Netflix April 24th, it is going to be the must-watch 10-hour binge of your day that you don't want to let anybody get in front of you and see, because people will spoil. There's a lot to spoil. A very lot to spoil you, and you do not want anybody to do it for you. So either shut off your socials or get ahead of it and get to watching it as soon as it drops. The final season of You, absolutely satisfies and delivers, and it also leaves a little bit of possibility of more in the future. And if they do, let's do it. Jump in the comments, folks. Let me know your thoughts, your excitement for this season of You. And as always, stick around for more reviews and content here at Big Gold Belt Media very soon. Thank you for watching, folks.